Ta-da!
Hello gamers, Matthew here from Grey Army Gaming in super southern Sweden. For today's episode of Box to Battle, we are going to be digging into something that I have been looking forward to for a long time, something that will really help complement my army. A High Elf Prince and Noble. Alright, let's go ahead and tear into this thing. Man, I always have a hard time with this plastic, but let's give it a shot anyway. Alright, let's go ahead and see what we have for the contents of this box. First off, we have got the instruction booklet. This is going to be good when we are trying to piece together our complicated little figurines here. We've also got the two bases, a standard cavalry base and a standard 20x20 base. And finally, we've got two sprues. For our first sprue now, we've got a lot of pieces for the horse for our prince. And we've got the bottom unit here for the BSB, some of his headdress, some torsos, and pretty cool here we have a bow option, which would be kind of cool to have. I don't know if we'll go with bow or lance. We'll figure that out as we get going building up our lord and our prince. And for the second sprue now, we have all the weapons options. Look at all these different weapons you're provided with. We got a lance, we've got swords, we've got a halberd, we've got spears, we've got axes, little mini daggers. Wow, what a lot of options here. Different shields as well. We've got our cloak, and this banner right here, which I'm going to be using for the BSB, is killer. Look at that detail on there. Really nice looking banner. I'm excited to get this up and rolling in the army. Alright, all we need to do now is to just pop all these pieces off of the sprue and start putting them together. I'm sure we will be needing this and refer to that a few times as we move along. And here now is the first model from our kit. We have our High Elf Prince on a war steed, and the steed is mounted on that nice rocky base. I went ahead and gave our prince here a lance for nice charging effects. There are many different options for how you could work the helmet, the shield, etc. So I went with this sort of dragon type theme. Matches the shield, and matches the helmet, and I guess matches pretty well the overall feel I want for this this prince, a dragon look. It's a very nice model, really impressive sculpt. A lot of pieces involved in this, but pretty simple to put together. And for our second model now, we have our Noble BSB. What I love about this model is just the amount of detail that you see on the banner. It can save you a lot of time and trouble painting all the small details when you can just follow the design they give you already. I went ahead and put the sort of feathery helmet option onto this guy with the sort of moonburst shield. All in all, a very nice effect. Good cloak in the back there, something like maybe almost like a white lion's kind of cloak. Really nice model. One thing I really appreciate about this is that even though the banner is very large, you can see that it stands up quite well. The banner is centered over the model in a very good way. You don't have to worry about this falling over too much. Although with the base you can always go ahead and reinforce it with a washer or some other piece of metal. But that might not be necessary. It stands pretty well on its own.
The noble families of Uthuan have led the High Elves through times of peace and conflict for thousands of years. They pride themselves on a deep sense of honor, as well as the mastery of both diplomacy and war as art forms. The High Elves believe an existence lived without precision to be hollow and scarcely preferable to death. Any elf prince is just at home fighting with sword in bloody melee, as he is loosing deathly accurate arrows from afar, or even dictating the strategy of a campaign from a greater distance still. Though they are loyal to the Phoenix King, even unto death, all high elves of noble blood love intrigue and politics. Unfortunately, this sometimes means that armies are trusted to individuals based on political alignment rather than on ability. Fortunately, these instances are rare. When the safety of Uthuan is at stake, few Phoenix Kings have suffered such idiocy for long. There is no shortage of brave and talented commanders among the Asur, and courtly intrigue seldom prevents such individuals from harnessing their skills. Depending on their wealth and the kingdom of their birth, the princes of Uthuan fight in many different ways. Those of Tiranoc typically do battle from the back of swift-wheeled chariots, while the lords of Lothar often stand, spear and bow in hand, amidst the ranks of the sea guard. Those with the greatest wealth might ride upon a great eagle or griffin, or, in the case of the mightiest princes of Calidor, upon a dragon. Such steeds are invariably a symbol of status, as well as lending a brutal advantage in the midst of battle. Wherever they hail from, High Elf commanders are incredibly dangerous, able to strike down their foes with unmatched swiftness. They are equally deadly with a lance, spear, halberd, or longbow, able to penetrate even the most resolute defense with a spear thrust, or shoot a foe through the eye while riding at full gallop. Princes of the highest rank even wield weapons of legend, magical heirlooms fashioned upon Vol's forge and held by their families for hundreds, if not thousands, of years. For many families, ownership of such an artifact constitutes their line's right to regal status. Any prince who bears one to battle will therefore fight all the harder, for he and his family can ill afford for the blade to be lost to the foe, or be dishonored by defeat or cowardice. Yet, whilst a magical weapon might make a noble a prince, it does not make him a general. This comes from his keen mind, his courage, and his sense of duty. Thus does Uthuan forge the finest commanders in the world, leaders able to read the ebb and flow of unfolding battle, knowing when to commit forces, when to retreat, and when Uthuan must call for the ultimate sacrifice from her defenders.